Hello and welcome to Pass the Turn. On this show today, we're going to be talking about my top 10 angels from my commander deck. So before we start with the top 10, we've got some honourable mentions. So first of the honourable mentions is Angel of Condemnation. This card allows you to exile a target creature by tapping it and paying 3 mana, and then it gets returned at the end of the next end step. However, if you exert it, it won't come back. It will be pinned under the Angel of Condemnation, essentially. This card also has Flying and Vigilance, so you can get in for your attacks first, then end step or whenever you want to, tap it, exert it, done, gone. Brilliant card, but not in my top 10, but for a very good reason. And you'll see why. The other angels are just ridiculous. Another honourable mention is Avacyn, the Guardian Angel. Another Flying Vigilance Angel on a 5/4 body. That's pretty good. Costs 5 mana. Yeah, I like that. It has 2 abilities on it that are to do with preventing damage. First one costs 2 mana. Prevent all damage that would be dealt to another target creature this turn by sources of the colour of your choice. Very good. That could stop some of your things from dying. It's good. 7 mana, however, prevent all damage that would be dealt to target player this turn by sources of the colour of your choice. Now this is good for multiple reasons. First of all, you can prevent yourself from dying from a big creature. However, if you like to play politically like I do, you can also prevent someone else from dying in return for a favour back. This is a really, really good card. Unfortunately, I find that it just dies to removal and just gets gone, basically, too quickly to actually really use these abilities. And for 7 mana, I could be paying something else, really, something big. So that's why I didn't make the top 10. The last honourable mention is Angel of Jubilation. This is essentially an anthem on a creature, for non-black creatures that is. It's flying, it's a 3/3. However, it does have a good ability where players can't pay life or sacrifice creatures to cast spells or activate abilities. Brilliant for messing around with those sacrifice decks. However, it's not in my top 10 because there are better options, and you'll see that. Coming in at number 10 is Archangel of Temps. Costs 4 mana. It's a bit of an awkward cost in most decks, but my deck is mono white, so I don't really have a problem. It's flying, it's a 3/5. It has 2 very controlling abilities, and I find that it can sway the way people decide on whether they want to attack me or someone else. So I can use it to be like, well, you don't want to waste your mana, don't attack me. So this has got some good uses to it. So as long as Archangel of Temps is untapped, creatures can't attack you or a planeswalker you control unless their controller pays 1 mana for each of those creatures. So it's almost like a propaganda on a stick as well, which is cool. As long as Archangel of Temps is attacking, creatures can't block unless their controller pays 1 for each of those creatures. Now that's really cool because if they don't have flies, they're not going to be able to block anyway, but if they do, they've got to pay mana for it, which most of the time they probably won't have. So you're still going to get that flying damage through and go through unblocked. It's a brilliant card. Nice artwork. Comes in at number 10. Coming in at 9th place is Gisela, the Broken Blade. I absolutely love this card, mostly because of the artwork, but also because it's a low-cost angel with flying, first strike, and lifelink. However, its hidden ability is something that you might come across later. At the beginning of your end step, if you both own and control Gisela the Broken Blade and a creature named BRUNA, the Fading Light, exile them and meld them into Gisela, the Voice of Nightmares. Coming in at 8th place is Angel of Sanctions. 5 mana for a 3/4 with flying. When it enters the battlefield, you may exile target non-land opponent and opponent controls until it leaves the battlefield. This is a brilliant card. Essentially, it gives me a option to take away a piece of maybe an opponent's combo piece or just something that's causing me a little bit of aggro or problem. However, if it's removed, they get it back. But that's not a problem because it has Embalm, so it can come back again, which is brilliant. So that's why this is in spot 8. Flying in at number 7 is a Mirror Sheppard. This is a 7 cost, 4/4 with flying. However, its landfall ability is something quite spectacular. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you may return target non-land permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. If that land is a plains, you may return that non-land permanent card to the battlefield instead. Now, you can get some combos going in here, some really good value. Maybe you've got something that brings lands in, so you can bring it back, get more land, and then you can just, ramp up with it. Or you can bring back something that potentially taps down all the creatures or destroys all of them. It's really, really good. Coming in at number 6 is Angel of Serenity. This is a 7-cost 5/6 flying with whenever Angel of Serenity enters the battlefield, you may exile up to 3 other target creatures from the battlefield and or creature cards from the graveyard. When Angel of Serenity leaves the battlefield, return those exiled cards to their owner's hands. Now, this has multiple uses. You could just exile off a few cards from the field that are causing problems, or you could target some stuff in your own graveyard or potentially an opponent's graveyard, because you don't want them to bring it back. Maybe Merin, bringing back, I don't know, Thragtusk. You don't really want that coming back and them gaining life. You exile it off and put it into their hand. Obviously, they're still going to cast it if Serenity's gone, but it's a temporary fix. You could also bring things back from your graveyard once Serenity leaves the battlefield as well. So you could potentially get a few angels that have gone missing and get them back into your hands. And that's a really good. It's got brilliant artwork, and that is why it's in my deck. Coming in at number 5, Angelic Skirmisher. A 6-cost 4/4 flying with a very interesting ability. At the beginning of each combat, now that's each combat, choose First Strike, Vigilance or Lifelink. Creatures you control gain that ability at the end of the turn. So, if you need life when they attack you, and maybe you can afford to lose a few angels, you can put Lifelink on and block those and gain the life you need. Or, if you just need to get your attacks in, Vigilance, attack, you can still block afterwards in another turn. Potentially, if there's a player with a lot of creatures with a similar power level to yours, or toughness level as well, you can use First Strike and block them down. It also gives you the option to be quite diplomatic and be like, well, you don't want to attack me, because if you attack me, I'll choose First Strike and basically your creatures will die to mine. This is a really good card, and that's why it's so high up on the list. Coming in at number 4, Angelic Arbiter. This is another control card that I absolutely adore. It's a 7-cost 5/6 with flying. Each opponent who casts a spell this turn can't attack with creatures. Each opponent who attacked with a creature this turn can't cast spells. Basically, your opponents have to decide whether to attack you or to play a spell. So this is playing mind games, and it's a brilliant card. I mean, the artwork, look at it, it's fantastic. It looks like she's ascending. It's amazing. Coming in at number 3, Sunblast Angel. Now, this is one of my ways to get rid of board states of the tap creatures anyway. And also, I absolutely love the artwork. So this is a 6-mana, 4/5 flying with whenever Sunblast Angel enters the battlefield, destroy all tapped creatures. Now, this is brilliant. There's been many times when opponents has came in on me and been a bit cheeky with how many they've attacked with. I know what I've got in my hand, and I know, you know what, okay, fine, you attack me, I'll bait them maybe a little bit, and then on my turn, I'll drop the Sunblast Angel, and they will regret their decision. It's absolutely fantastic. Coming at number 2, Angel of the Dire Hour. Now, we just had Sunblast Angel, which destroys all tapped creatures. This is far worse. This is a 7-cost 5/4 with flash and flying. But when it enters the battlefield, if you cast it from your hand, exile all attacking creatures. Just goodbye. Don't come back. Gone. Unless they've got a sack outlet where they can put them back into the graveyard, those creatures aren't coming back ever. It's fantastic. Number 1 on my list, and yet again, it's my commander. Brunner, the Fading Light. 7-cost, 5/7 with whenever you cast Brunner, the Fading Light, you may return a target angel or human creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. This is amazing. All my creatures in this deck are either angels or humans. So I can bring back anything I want from my graveyard. Amazing. And if I bring back Gisela of the Broken Blade, guess what? They meld together. This has flying and vigilance, and this is by far my favourite card of my deck. Or is it? We have an invader coming in at number 0. Gisela, Voice of Nightmares. This literally is the Voice of Nightmares. If they hear this card coming into the battlefield, opponents run away. They just concede. This is a, well, no cost, but it's a flying, first strike, vigilance, lifelink, 9/10. Unbelievable. Your opponents can't cast spells with a converted mana cost 3 or less. Essentially, most of your cheap removal, gone. It is unbelievable. This has definitely won me games over and over again because people just don't have the right answer at the right time. It just flies over, vigilance, lifelink, first strike, nothing can really stop it. It's unbelievable. And that's why it's the hidden number 1 of this top 10. Thank you so much for watching. If you would like to put in the comment section any angels that you would suggest that you think that I might like in my commander deck, or if you think that I'm wrong somewhere, let me know. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We release new Magic videos on Mondays, and on Tuesdays we have board game content. If there's anything else you'd like to see from us, put a comment in the comment section. We'll have a read, see if it's something that we can do. Thanks again for watching the show. I'm Josh from Pass the Turn. Thanks for tuning in. Goodbye. Another honorable mention. Coming in at nowhere because it's honourable mentions. So before we start with the top 10, okay.